So with the war going on in many parts of the world now, causing the very deep disruption in the global food supply. So how severe has it been?
Of course, food security is a very, very important topic because it can be interrupted due to the logistics, due to the war, and especially in areas that there are currently, all these problems happening. And many countries, they really consider this as a first priority for their, running the agenda they have.
Hello and welcome to Business Spotlight on FBNC. This is Ying Chen, your host. And today's program will be focused on aquaculture and the role of aquaculture in food security. Food security is an issue of focus in many countries, especially after the pandemic. So what is food security? Based on the 1996 World Food Forum, food security is defined as when all people at all times have the physical and economic access to sufficient, nutritious, and safe food to meet their dietary demands and their preference for food for healthy and happy and an active life. So to know more about aquaculture and its role to food security, we invited here to the studio Dr. Farshad Shishechien, the Group President and CEO of Blue Aqua International, a global company headquartered in Singapore, specializes in providing the advanced solution for managing the farm environment, health, and optimizing nutrition for aquatic animal. He holds a PhD in terrestrial and aquatic ecology, and as the president of the World Aquaculture Society's Asia Pacific chapter. So Dr. Farshad's name is a byword for innovation and expertise in the world of aquaculture. So let's welcome Dr. Farshad. Hello, Dr. Farshad. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Okay.
I'm so honored to be here.
Mm-hmm. So with the war going on in many parts of the world now, causing the very deep disruption in the global food supply. So how severe has it been, according to your view?
I think few things we can mention, like, after the COVID, we had a few years, interruption in the logistic and food supply was major concern of many countries, especially those smaller countries like Singapore and others, and also for big countries. I think with the current situation we have, around the world, that there are a lot of wars and uncertainty happening. Of course, food security is a very, very important topic because it can be interrupted due to the logistics, due to the war, and especially in areas that there are currently, all these problems happening. And many countries, they really consider this as a first priority for their, running the, agenda they have.
Theo cập nhật của World Bank tháng 11 năm 2023 về an ninh lương thực thế giới, an ninh lương thực đang là mối lo ngại ngày càng tăng, đặc biệt là ở các nước có thu nhập thấp và trung bình thấp. Tình trạng mất an ninh lương thực trở nên trầm trọng hơn trong vài năm qua, với sự gia tăng đáng chú ý về tình trạng mất an ninh lương thực ở mức độ vừa và nghiêm trọng từ năm 2015 đến 2022. Các yếu tố như xung đột, thiên tai và bất ổn kinh tế đang thúc đẩy xu hướng đáng báo động này. Giá gạo tăng vọt gần đây đã làm trầm trọng thêm tình trạng mất an ninh lương thực, vì gạo là lương thực chủ yếu của một bộ phận đáng kể dân số toàn cầu. Giá lương thực điều chỉnh theo lạm phát cũng tăng, ảnh hưởng đến các hộ gia đình trên toàn thế giới. Nhiều quốc gia đã trải qua tình trạng lạm phát giá lương thực hai con số, trong đó có các khu vực như châu Âu và Trung Á bị ảnh hưởng đặc biệt do sự gián đoạn từ cuộc chiến ở Ukraine. Báo cáo điểm nóng nạn đói mới nhất của FAO và WFP xác định 18 điểm nóng, bao gồm 22 quốc gia và vùng lãnh thổ, sẽ yêu cầu hành động khẩn cấp từ tháng 11 năm 2023 đến tháng 4 năm 2024. Burkina Faso, Mali, Palestine, Nam Sudan và Sudan là những điểm nóng về nạn đói được quan tâm nhiều nhất, với số lượng đáng kể người dân có nguy cơ gặp phải nạn đói. Phân loại giai đoạn an ninh lương thực tổng hợp, điều hòa cán bộ giai đoạn 5 hoặc mất an ninh lương thực khẩn cấp giai đoạn 4 có khả năng trở nên tồi tệ hơn trong những tháng tới. Các quốc gia này cũng được nêu bật là những quốc gia được quan tâm nhất trong bản cập nhật trước đó vào tháng 5 2023, ngoại trừ Palestine được thêm vào do xung đột leo thang nghiêm trọng trong tháng vừa qua. Xung đột, khí hậu và nền kinh tế là những nguyên nhân chính gây mất an ninh lương thực. Bạo lực ngày càng gia tăng và xung đột vũ trang đang ảnh hưởng đến hơn một nửa số điểm nóng về nạn đói, khiến dân thường phải di dời và làm gián đoạn hoạt động sản xuất và thị trường cây trồng. Điều này bao gồm cuộc xung đột gần đây ở Palestine, các cuộc đảo chính quân sự ở Burkina Faso, Mali và Niger, và các chủ thể phi nhà nước đang chiến đấu ở Sudan. Việc rút dần các phái đoàn gìn giữ hòa bình ở Cộng hòa Dân chủ Congo, Mali và Somalia có thể làm trầm trọng thêm tình hình ở các quốc gia này. Dự kiến El Nino sẽ tác động mạnh đến an ninh lương thực ở nhiều khu vực. Hành lang khô hạn ở Trung Mỹ trải dài khắp El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras và Nicaragua đang phải đối mặt với các điều kiện giống như hạn hán dự kiến sẽ ảnh hưởng đến vụ thu hoạch tháng 5 đến tháng 8 năm 2024. Sản xuất ở miền Nam châu Phi cũng sẽ bị ảnh hưởng dưới mức lượng mưa trung bình. Trong khi đó, lượng mưa trên mức trung bình ở Đông Phi do lưỡng cực dương ở Ấn Độ Dương có thể gây ra thiệt hại đáng kể do lũ lụt cục bộ. Cuối cùng, các quốc gia có thu nhập thấp và trung bình đã có mức tăng trưởng kinh tế tương đối trì trệ vào năm 2023 và dự báo cho năm tới có vẻ không mấy hứa hẹn. 54 quốc gia đã chứng kiến lạm phát lương thực hàng năm cao hơn 10% vào tháng 10 năm 2023. Điều này phù hợp với xu hướng dài hạn hơn, với chỉ số giá thực phẩm FAO vẫn cao hơn 20% so với mức tháng 12 năm 2019. Giá lương thực cao hơn đi đôi với đầu tư và bảo trợ xã hội thấp hơn. Trong khi chi phí vay mượn ở hầu hết các nước có thu nhập thấp và trung bình vẫn ở mức cao, giá gạo xuất khẩu của Việt Nam đạt mức cao kỷ lục trong 15 năm và giá gạo tại ruộng tăng ở Myanmar đã giúp tăng lợi nhuận của trang trại trồng lúa trong bối cảnh chi phí sản xuất đắt đỏ hơn. Gạo 5% tấm của Việt Nam đã tăng lên mức cao nhất trong 15 năm là 653 đô la Mỹ một tấn, vượt giá của các đối thủ Thái Lan và Pakistan hơn 16%.
So when they talk about food security, normally they want to mention aquaculture. Why is that?
I mean, the reason is very simple. If you look at the planet of the Earth, we have over 70% of our planet covered by the water. And of course, in the water, you have a lot of fish and a lot of, sea creature that they live there. So by looking at just the simple, this proportion of the land and the water, you can see that farming and the aquatic animal can be the major source of the protein for the human being. That's why aquaculture, it can play very important and major role in, supplying the food for the human.
An ninh lương thực là con đường chính để phát triển kinh tế xã hội ở bất kỳ quốc gia nào trên thế giới nhằm khắc phục tình trạng suy dinh dưỡng. Kịch bản hiện tại ở các nước kém phát triển vẫn đang phải đối mặt với vấn đề này. Do đó, sự thiếu hụt dinh dưỡng của con người tập trung vào tầm quan trọng của protein động vật trong chế độ ăn uống thường xuyên của họ. Thủy sản là một phần quan trọng của an ninh lương thực, đặc biệt đối với nhiều người nghèo ở các nước đang phát triển. Động vật thủy sản là nguồn protein có giá trị dinh dưỡng cao và rẻ nhất, là nguồn bổ sung có giá trị trong khẩu phần ăn bằng cách cung cấp các vitamin, protein, vi chất dinh dưỡng và khoáng chất thiết yếu cho người nghèo. Trên toàn cầu, cá cung cấp khoảng 16% lượng protein động vật được con người tiêu thụ và là nguồn cung cấp khoáng chất và axit béo thiết yếu có giá trị. Cá là nguồn cung cấp axit béo omega-3 chính trong chế độ ăn uống của con người. Sản xuất cá cũng đóng một vai trò quan trọng đối với an ninh lương thực thông qua việc đóng góp vào nguồn cung cấp lương thực tổng thể cho người dân nói chung. Một tác động khác cần phải nêu bật là sự tham gia của ngành nuôi trồng thủy sản vào việc đảm bảo an ninh lương thực cho người nghèo, những người dễ bị suy dinh dưỡng nhất.
So before talking more detail into the aquaculture industry, could you share about the world's, seafood consumption at the moment? How is it developed so far?
I mean, we have some, some statistic in the recent years. We have calculated like it's in average about 20 kilo per head. Globally, human consume seafood. But I would personally believe that they may not be very accurate because there are many countries that we don't have really the true statistic. So I can say that there are more potential for consumption of the seafood. So, but seafood, especially in a part of the world that we are living, is one of the major source of the food.
Okay. As a regular speakers for world and regional conferences, forums about fisheries, fish streams, etc., what do you think is the most prominent topic that people want to say when it comes to talking about aquaculture playing a role in food security? What is the topic that they talk about?
I think the most important things about aquaculture is that, first of all, this is happening everywhere in the world. That's the one thing. The second thing I think is very important, that how we can really be able to provide a better technology and the low cost production for the high value protein that we can supply to the people. And everybody thinking about how affordable can be. Because in the old days, if you go back, for example, if you look at some country like China, you look at some Asian country, seafood sometimes considered as a very, luxury food. So people, not everybody could afford all days to consume, which in fact, I think it should be very affordable. So I think the main topic should be how to make the, seafood and, sea product more affordable for the general public.
Mm-hmm. So how has aquaculture developed these days worldwide, and which regions in the world has the most, aquaculture industry developed?
I think if I want to divide aquaculture, development to the two parts in the world, I would say we have an Asian, which is us, from Vietnam, China, India, Thailand, Indonesia. And then you have another part that is more on the European side, that they are mostly work on the salmon and trout. In fact, the development on the salmon and trout, it is extremely great because they are the developed country that they work on this. But when it's come to our part, which is the more tropical farming and tropical aquaculture, still we do have a long way to go to become, very, developed on the technology and everything. And that goes back for one simple reason, that aquaculture in the tropical area is not one species or two species. So we have a multi-species that we need to work on it. But yeah, I think the countries, especially on the shrimp and some tropical fish, the advance is, is good.
I see. Is it an easy industry to enter? I have a lot of friends who have, well equipped a little bit in terms of finance. They said that they want to jump into these industries. What is the difficulty and the pros and cons of it?
Aquaculture today is a business. It's an activity that requires a lot of know-how. Mm-hmm. So it's just like I say, okay, I'm an ordinary person and I want to go and open the shop that I repair a car. I need to have a know-how. So that's why the main barrier of the entry, I think, for this business is the know-how, is the technology. This know-how can define in many, many ways. Mm-hmm. But, of course, the first things is the basic knowledge and understanding what are you doing. Of course, the second part is, which is very important, is the financial capability, because aquaculture is always required very strong financial backup, because at the end of the day, if anything happened and you lost the crop, you should be able to continue. So I would say the technology and know-how and also financial backup is one of the key factors. Of course, beside that, you must have a buyer also. Sometimes we produce things that nobody want to buy. So always, these are the three factors, that a buyer, financial backup, and the know-how are the key, I would say, bottleneck for this industry.
Okay. But the rising of the population, worldwide, is an advantage for people who want to enter this industry. So, to be able to take the full advantage of that, in aquaculture, so what is your advice for participants?
Okay. It's a very good point, I think, Michigan. I think the fact is here, sometimes we confuse the terms. Like when we talk about food security and farming, I think the agenda of each one of them is different, because when you talk about food security, you purely talking about production of the protein and food. Like you look at Vietnam, you guys have you are the largest producer of the catfish and basa, in the whole world. But this is not the fish that everybody like to eat, but it's a protein. It's a good protein. Yeah. Sometimes people, they feel they prefer to eat grouper. They prefer to eat salmon. So it's a different. So from a business perspective, there is a different definition. And from the food security perspective, there's a different definition. But these two has to be met somewhere. So to make a successful venture in aquaculture, you need to have the both. You need to have, you need to be able to take advantage from that increasing of population, buying power of the people, because now many people in a big country, they have more income, so they eat better, so they can afford to buy more product. But of course, there are other parts of the world like Africa and some other underdeveloping country that they need the basic nutrition. So I can divide the, industry to two completely different sectors. One is more on the business orientation. Another one is more on the really food security part.
I see. So when talking about aquaculture industry, aquaculture, are they, other than water, they care about breeds, feed, technique, probiotics products,
Sure.
etc. So what is the support as a farmer? What is the support a farmer needs from the government or from the suppliers for to make sure that their crops are successful? So,
Very good point, because this industry has upstream and downstream. So there are different industry that come and work together with the farmer to make this venture successful. You cannot be just a standalone farmer and be successful. You need all these things that you mentioned we call it farm care. Farm care means farmer manage the water quality, manage the animal health, manage the animal, nutrition. And also they require, processing, they require export, they require marketing. So these are all extremely important. But at the farm level, I believe managing the farm and the animal health and animal growth are very important. And the companies and the governments, they have to look at the exact, requirement of all this farm, that in what level, because sometimes disease are the bottleneck. Sometimes are the water quality are the bottleneck. So we have, sometimes productivity is the bottleneck, because when the price of the production, like I give you an example of shrimp. If the production of the shrimp is, when price of the shrimp is cheap, what a farmer should do, I believe farmers should produce more careful. They have to be having a less cost, so to manage to make profit. So these are all very important that I think government and agencies and also private sector play a very important role in educating the farmer and teaching the farmer what is right, what is wrong.
Okay, so Blue Aqua is a major supplier for farm care products, focusing on the farming management and the health of animals. So, can you tell us more about the whole, ecosystem of Blue Aqua?
In a Blue Aqua, we always define ourselves as a farmer. We are also a farmer, and we understand the farmer needs and requirement. So we have been very active in the shrimp industry, especially for many years, to support the farmer with educating the farmer and supplying them the tools that it can make them more profitable and more successful. So that is what today Blue Aqua are doing. And we also have our own farm that we use those farms to demonstrate our technology. And I think Vietnam is one of the key market for us, because we were in Vietnam for so many years, but we back today because we have a much more stronger and better partner. And we see the Vietnam market is growing much more faster than, other market today. And it's an extremely potential market. There's a lot of, young farmer that they need knowledge and know-how, and they need a good support. So we are very happy to be a part of the Vietnam development for aquaculture.
Okay, so I see Blue Aqua's products and services have been in Vietnam for more than 10 years. Yes, but you seem to focus more on other countries rather than Vietnam. But not until recently that you shift all your focus to Vietnam market as part of the big plan of Blue Aqua International, and there's the reason behind that. But can you tell more about the ecosystem of Blue Aqua? Which species that it focused a lot, and what is the portion of it?
Sure. In Blue Aqua, we are mostly focused on shrimp. So we are famous as our shrimp know-how. So we have a patented system for shrimp farming. And the species we work on the three major species, which is the Vanemi, Monodon, and Japanicus, Kuruma shrimp. So we do have our own know-how on the hatchery, on the farming, and water quality. And we are starting our feed mill very soon. We are establishing a feed mill in Singapore and some other market, because we believe that all of these falling under one umbrella, which I call productivity. So the productivity is very important. And as I say again, Vietnam, extremely important for us. I think since last year, we put a lot of focus on Vietnam. I think we're going to have even more attention and more participation in the Vietnam development for the shrimp farming especially. And I mean, really looking forward to see our business grow here, and we would be able to support the farmer in Vietnam.
Okay, so one last question. Why shrimp?
Very good. I mean, it's an extremely, intelligent question, I would say. Shrimp is one of the most profitable species in aquaculture. We have salmon and trout in the cold water species. But when it's come to the shrimp, is the only species that it's in tropical area make a good profit. Because shrimp, it's able to, first of all, many people eat shrimp. I mean, like a lot of people. It's a common ingredient for many food around the world. So everybody know how to eat shrimp. That's one thing. The second thing, shrimp is a product that it easily can be packed, can be processed, and you can deliver and ship it to many parts of the world. So it's so simple. And shrimp farming is one of the oldest aquaculture practice that is happening around the world. That's why shrimp is always a number one species for the tropical. I mean, we have many species. We have 260 species to culture, but always shrimp has the highest attention among all of them.
Okay, thank you very much for your sharing.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Although food security is not generally a major objective of aquaculture production nowadays, aquaculture does contribute a lot to overall food supply by increasing the production of popular species, then reducing price, and broaden the opportunity for income and food access. So aquaculture is thought to be an important mechanism for food security through reduced vulnerability to uncontrollable natural crises and improved the food availability, etc. So at the present, there's no standard measuring or quantifying the contribution of aquaculture to food security. However, the role of aquaculture nowadays can be assessed by its impacts on the variety of different aspects in food security, with some indicators that we will mention in other topic. So that's it for today. Thank you very much,
Thank you very
Dr.
much
Farshad, for joining
me.
us today. And we wish you health and success.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ying Zheng, and this is Business Spotlight. See you next time.